StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
And welcome back, everyone, to the 145th episode of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Fergusson. Kyle, man, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. It's Terran week here. I need
Terran
to ask,
week.
Are we Raiders, or are we Dominion here?
Oh, screw the Dominion, man.
It's under new management.
These guys are dicks.
Maybe they'll change up the name. Certainly they'll get rid of the buff arm scorpion thing, if that is what it is.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what it looks like to me.
All right. Well, if you're watching live or listening via podcast, and you're like, these guys' voices seem like they're trying out for a smooth jazz station. That's because we pre-recorded this, and it's a little earlier than we usually do this. So you're hearing our morning voice.
Yeah, normally we have a good 8 hours of getting nice and exhausted at work, but this morning we're fresh, we're gooey.
Why are you... Okay, I'm not even going to ask. You're a Zerg player, so...
Everything's gooey.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to bunker rush here on this episode, Kyle. Anyways, joining us for our Terran Noobisode, because like we said last week, we have to bring on someone who isn't a noob, or this would just be a failed experiment in teaching all of our fans how to play. So joining us is pro player from the team Fnatic, Santeri, better known as Naama. And Naama, I hope I didn't just kill your name.
Actually, it just did, but it's okay.
Damn, I fail. I'm Bronze League at pronouncing names. So, anyways, dude, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. I just woke up and had my breakfast and started playing some StarCraft, and here I am.
Nice. That's a good way to start the day. Did you eat some noobs for breakfast?
Yeah. I did.
Good stuff. So, anyways, this is actually your first time on the show. So, Hearthstone, we were just like, you've been here before. We don't need to talk to you about how you got started, and we just got right into it. But it's your first time, so why don't we introduce you a little bit? How'd you originally get into StarCraft?
Well, I started playing Warcraft 3 when I was like 15 years old. Then I heard StarCraft 2 was coming out, and then I just started playing it when it came out. So
nice.
What race were you in Warcraft 3?
Orc.
Okay. Did that translate to Terran for you, or is that just a completely new switch?
Not really, yeah. It was a new switch.
Oh, okay. Because you talk to a lot of Warcraft 3 players, and if they played like Undead, they're like, oh yeah, I played Zerg. Played. It's like Creep. So.
Oh, I'm so glad that Terran don't have spikes on their buildings. That'd be just awful. Trying to take down a bunker with Zerglings and they're dying.
Well, I mean, they kind of already are because they're being shot at, but...
Well, sure, but
okay,
not cutting themselves.
Yes,
good tactic, though.
Yeah, indeed. Dude, get on it, Terran. What are you guys doing? It's, next
Legacy of the Void upgrade.
Legacy of the Void. Sharp objects. There you go. So Heart of the Swarm has come out, and I mean, like you said, as soon as StarCraft 2 came out, you're kind of like, I'm going to get on that. So you've been playing since, I'm assuming, the beta, right?
Yeah.
Of Wings of Liberty. So how's Heart of the Swarm kind of changed things up for you?
Well, it feels like completely new game with the same basics. Because you have the new units, they changed so much of the meta game. And, well, yeah, that was it.
Gotcha. What about like strategies specific? Anything that was kind of a staple of your play that is just now completely out the window, or has more crossed over than you expected?
Yeah, it has crossed over a lot though. Like, I really like the new Medivacs for Terran. Like, it really is. It really fits my style of play. So that's kind of cool for me.
Nice. So you dig in the emergency thrusters. The name got changed a
Yeah,
few times, so
yeah.
mulling around in my head. So obviously a lot of Zerg are kind of up in arms about the new drop timings, saying it's kind of overpowered and whatnot. I mean, do you think it needs a nerf? Or do you think people just need to learn to defend it better?
Yeah, I don't think it needs a nerf just yet. Maybe if it's as good as it's now in 1 month, then maybe it might need a nerf. But I think Zergs need to practice more to play against it.
No. Okay. So all right. So you're on board with who was it? Kyle from David Kim made that post. He's just like, listen,
Yeah,
we're not gonna.
I saw the post.
Yeah, we're not gonna hit everything with a nerf hammer right off the bat. You know, the game's been out for a week. So I mean, what do you think about tournaments that come out right after I mean, we had MLG not even a full week after the launch of the game. I mean, do you think people should put a lot of stock in the results of that tournament?
No, I don't think so. And after all, the Koreans, they are still so much better. So it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, day one, Twitter was just blown up with, "Oh, this game is overpowered," and I think it was Total Biscuit who was, I think, casting the event too, who was just like, "Can we get through the round where the Koreans are just stomping forward on us before we start blowing the balance horn?"
yeah.
So, and I mean, it was harsh, but it's also true. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know. It's ridiculous. Are there any Koreans in particular that you've been watching to kind of brush up on some Terran strats?
Well, actually, I'm not like the biggest favorite of watching other players to teach myself how to play better. So I haven't done so, but I think I might watch some Flash games because he's the best Terran ever. Sure.
Okay, so you are. Yeah, I mean, he did damn well at MLG. So that was going to be my next question, is if you're kind of into, if you're down with Flash. I think that was actually one of the fan questions we got. We took some questions from the StarCast forums, from Team Liquid, and even from our emails. So we'll be getting into some of those later. And I know one of them was like, "Ask him what he thinks of Flash. Does he like? Is he down with it?" So yeah. That's cool stuff. So, anyways, so we're gonna, if this is your, for whatever reason, listeners out there, if you missed last week's episode with Hearthstone, the whole point of us doing these episodes is to kind of help you all get back in the game, and maybe you took a break during Wings of Liberty, maybe you're just now getting in with Heart of the Swarm. But anyways, things have changed, so we're going to talk some basics, and then we're going to get into some really more specific strategy talk. So my question to you, I actually play Terran. What are some of the most common mistakes that you see, beginner Terran making?
Oh well, that's a hard one because like the mistakes are same for every race. Like the basic mistakes, like having idle workers, SCVs, staying around doing nothing, and getting supply capped, stuff like that. It's the same for every race, basically. But for Terran, I think like not walling off your ramp is a huge mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. That's a key skill I think everyone should learn. Like, is to how to properly wall. Now, when we get into higher play in certain matchups, people are always like, "Well, in this matchup on this map, you probably shouldn't wall off." Do you think beginner players should even worry about that, or just always wall?
Yeah, just always wall off.
Gotcha. All right. Very cool. Now,
you did mention idle workers, so I'm guessing you don't bind one or two SCVs to a single button and have that be your official worker for the day?
No. Or maybe like the first worker that starts the first supply depot of the game. Maybe that one. You keep it in group 1 for some time, but not for a very long time.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's something I actually do. So, yay, I'm not screwing up too bad.
Oh, but what I always see, particularly when I'm doing team games or something, is because you can see the outline of where he's going to put a building, and he's got one worker that's busy on like a barracks, and there's like 5 buildings lined up after that. And you're like, what? No, just more workers and shift them back.
Yeah.
Indeed. What about more beginning stuff, scouting? I mean, we always joke, like, when people write in, they're like, oh, I'm new to the game, what do I do to get better? And we're always just like, just scout. Like, scout often, scout as much as you can. But with Terran specifically, how much do you think players should rely on scanning as opposed to scouting with SCVs or other units you have to control?
I don't think you should scan at all in the first 10 minutes as a Terran. So you should always try to scout with the SCV. It's so much cheaper and can even be better than a scan if you get it right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a beginner Terran, I mean, always drop mules if you can. I mean, obviously that changes if you start seeing DTs or stuff out and you don't have any detection. You should probably keep a
like for example against Protoss, you usually have this Protoss send his first stalker from his base to the natural of Terran in the start. So you should wait until the stalker gets out, then you come with the SCV from a hidden place or something. You go to the main, then it's completely open and you can see everything at that point. Mm-hmm. And the stalker's in the middle of the map, he cannot deny the scout.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. Any other little scouting tips?
Well, against Zerg, if he goes hatch first, you should usually scout like right before the first links come out. Then you can also see everything. So you need to get the timings right. You need to watch some replays and see when they get the first links and when the stalker is moving out and stuff like that.
All right.
Has the Reaper taken that space as a scout unit for the early and mid game, or is that something you don't use?
Oh yeah, definitely in the heart of the swarm. It's much better to scout with a Reaper than in Wings of Liberty. Yeah, I prefer it in some maps. It's really good because it's also so fast right now. It cannot really die in the early game, so it's really good.
Yeah, I'm digging the new Reapers. How do you feel, Kyle? Have you been seeing them in your base a lot?
Because I play so queen heavy, it's not the biggest deal for me, but certainly, I mean, if you're not ready, if someone knocks on the door and says, hey, what you want for dinner? And you go, oh, yeah, and you make that Overlord? Yeah, I'm dead.
Are you seeing the issue, Kyle, a lot that a lot of other Zerg I hear complaining about? Like, oh, I get them down really low, then they leave, and like 2 minutes later, they're back at full health.
Sure, but I've got mutas that do the same thing, so I can't complain.
That's true. Mutas are they're a little more mobile too than Reapers. Granted, you get them later; they're more expensive, but still.
Well, we've got 3 different abilities on our command center, so we need to hang out, not use our scans for the first 10 minutes, use mules. But what about that third ability, dropping supply? Should you ever use that, or maybe like if your base gets destroyed and you need it?
Only if you make a mistake and miss a supply depot. So if you get supply blocked, then you should use it. But otherwise, no, not really.
Have you changed how you hold on to your scans now with things like swarm hosts and widow mines and earlier DTs?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I need to scan much more in heart of the swarm. I need to keep the energy. Even though I can use the mule, I need to save it just in case he has like widow mines, DTs, and stuff like that. It's different now.
Yeah, widow mines are just. I'm still so very confused as to how to deal with them in a TVT situation. That's the thing I've had the hardest time kind of adjusting to. So, because I don't have links, Kyle, I can't just send one little 25 mineral guy out to take it for me.
Yeah, because those guys are always hanging out by themselves. The Lings and the Widow Mines. You make me select a single Ling and have to do that. And then I get there and I realize there's like 3 or 4 Widow Mines all waiting for me. But sure. You can kind of like dance with a Widow Mine right now because it kind of reveals itself before it shoots. So you can run away right before that happens.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you have to be real quick though.
Yeah, you have to be a Ling or like a stimmed Marine. But how do you deal with them, Naama?
Widowmines in TVT.
Yeah.
I actually didn't play that much against Widowmines yet. Usually, like when I play TVT, only thing where they are used is to harass opponents' minerals or to defend against drops. Like I don't see them that often on the map, like open map, you know.
Okay.
So usually they harass with them, just like drop a few in your main and try to kill SCVs. So whenever I see that coming, I just pull my SCVs out from the base. Then I split my army so that I don't die. And then I scan and kill them. That's pretty much it.
That was funny. One of the questions we had for Hearthstone last week was, I'm a new player. What do I do what's the easiest way to defend or to like minimize the damage from Widowmine drops? And Hearthstone jokingly said, well, if I knew, I'd be doing it. There's not really an easy way, but like just select all your workers and just get the hell out of there. Like, it's not worth it.
Well, and scans certainly make a good contribution to that counter.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the dance, the 40-second dance. I'm going to build a turret and get out in time.
Yeah.
I guess we might as well cover the other new unit. We talked about Widowmines, a bit about Reapers. How's the Battle Hellion working for you?
Oh, Hellbat, Kyle, they changed the name. God, come on.
Me.
Well, it's really good really good at drops. Like, first of all, it's really good at harassing the opponent, and then it's also a really good tank in your army. Like, usually you had the Hellions with mech. They're just like, okay, they're good, but they die really fast. So when you have the Battle Hellions, they are stronger and tank up the damage.
Do you drop them already as Battle Hellions, Hellbats?
Yeah, like against Zerg, it's really good to drop them.
Yeah, I mean the last patch we had when the beta kind of ended, was that change to where now you need the armory and you need the transformation servos upgrade off the tech lab when you have the armory. Do you find yourself ever getting that upgrade?
You mean the upgrade to transfer them?
Yeah, so the Hellions you already have can be switched between the two modes.
Yeah, for sure. Like, whenever I build Hellions, my first, like, why I need them is I want Hellions right now. It's not like I want to build Battle Hellions right now. I usually change them to Battle Hellions when I need them to be Battle Hellions. So that's why I need the upgrade.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I remember when it first came out, we were kind of like, it's a lot of steps to getting that upgrade. You need the armory, but the upgrade's not on the armory.
No.
Yeah, but sorry, continue.
Well, it's like now you cannot build them so fast, the Battle Hellions, because you need the upgrade, you need the armory, you need a tech lab to a factory to get the upgrade, stuff like that. So if you could get it faster, I think it would be imbalanced. But right now it's completely fine.
Cool. Well, that's good to hear.
So definitely use them as Hellions first. I've actually been in a number of games where they've gone the Battle Hellion mode first, or Hellbat, excuse me. And
you'll get it by the end of the show. Don't worry.
The long parade that I get to enjoy watching them move out of their base, walk all the. I mean, it's like Thor's coming. By the time they get there, you're ready for it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, the Thors. How do you feel about the Thor cannon change, where they've got their standard attack is the normal splash damage air, but then you can change modes now to do this massive single target to air damage.
Yeah, I think it's really good against the strong air units like Broodlords or Tempest and stuff like that. So I really like the new change.
I think we're all happy to see a bit of a death of the Turtling Zerg 3-base Broodlord Infester blob.
Yeah. I was digging Life's like heavy Ling play at MLG. That is always fun to watch.
Oh, and it was thrilling back in the day. I mean, we go back, a year and a half ago where this is the thing to do against Protoss every game. It was thrilling. But give that a whole year of watching it, we're ready for something new.
You don't want to see they like the Protoss misses with one vortex and they just
Over
auto
and
lose.
over again, yes.
Or
I
they
dream
hit
of
it
it.
and they automatically win. It's just that coin flip done. It got really stale over time. Kyle, last week you asked Hearthstone, and I would like to ask the same question here for new players. If it happens all the time, you get a new player and they're bronze, silver, gold, whatever. They're floating way too many minerals. They go to engage with the enemy. They spend too much time microwing. All right, I lost or I won. Cool, I'm back at my base. Oh crap, I have like 1,000+ minerals. What is the best way for a new player to just offload that properly?
Did you ask me or Kyle?
Oh. No, sorry. Yeah, Naama. Kyle asked it last week, and I was saying I'd like to ask the same question again this week to you, Naama.
Yeah. Like one trick is like when you know you're going to a battle, you just like queue more units. If you're a Terran, you can queue units. So you do that. You have like 3 Marines coming from each barracks when you're entering the fight. So you kind of like you don't miss a round of Marines even if you're microing for a few minutes. And well, apart from that, you just like need to have more like production units, facilities to easily spend the minerals faster, you know.
Right. Now, Wings of Liberty, we kind of always had this like rule of thumb. Like if you have 1 command center, you can do 4 barracks. If you have 2, 8, and so on and so forth. Has that really changed at all with Heart of the Swarm, or is it pretty much the same?
Yeah, it's the same because the basic mechanics of the game are the same. Nothing changed about how much minerals you get and stuff like that. So it's the same.
Gotcha. So getting into some of the, or actually, Kyle, you wanted to talk about maps.
Yeah, is there anything, just because we've got a whole new map pool here for Heart of the Swarm, some old, but a lot of new. Is there anything that you as a Terran just downvoted right away?
Well, I think the snow map or Neo Planet or whatever it's called, I don't really like it. It's really, really difficult to play on. But I think all the other maps, I really like them all. They have like really, really nice cliffs. Like I can siege my tanks below the cliffs, and the opponent cannot do anything about it. Stuff like that. I really like all of the new maps.
So Neo Planet because of the difficulty for a third, or?
Yeah. The third placement is so awkward. Like it's really hard to defend.
Oh yeah.
And you have no Xel'Naga towers to control the map. Like when you're playing against a Zerg, you really never know when he's trying to do a run by, because you have like the 2 routes at the middle, like 2 ways for him to go around the middle, and no Xel'Naga, so you don't know when it's coming. That sucks.
Yeah, that's rough.
What about probably the most awkward map in the whole pool, Core Hall City? This is the one where you've got 2 mains sitting inside your main.
Oh, well, I like it a lot because it's easy to expand, and it's also easy to harass your opponent because there's a lot of space behind the expansion and at the main. So I really like to play 2 base on that map. Like 2 base all-ins, 2 base super harasses and stuff like that. I really like it as well.
Is this
maybe not against Terran.
Yes, that makes sense when they can shoot up that ramp at you. But a real popular strategy I'm running into a lot is using your command center or building a command center as part of your early wall off. Is that something you do on this map, or that you yourself do at all?
Well, I think it makes sense on that map because the ramp is so big. So, well, I don't personally use it, but I think it makes sense to do stuff like that. So it's definitely not a bad thing.
Cool. So just the one, that Neo Planet. I think Hearthstone had like 3 or 4, or no, he had 3 he didn't like.
Well, that's all you get. So.
And Neoplanet was one of them. I am estimating that when we talk to LZ Gamer next week for the Zerg episode, he'll probably also say Neoplanet.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear this because GomTV GSL's been timing out some of those Xel'Naga towers.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting, as Blizzard's paying more attention to tournament maps, that we're going to see a phase out of those Xel'Nagas.
How do you like that, Naama? Do you think we should have Xel'Naga towers all the time, or?
I think we should have Xel'Naga towers to some extent. Like they shouldn't reveal the whole map, but like some of the map, like Aquilon Wastes, the map where the Xel'Nagas, they don't show the middle of the map, like the route to your opponent's base, but they show the edge of the map.
Yeah. All right.
So I think like at Wings of Liberty, they were really, really strong. Like when you think about the map like Ohana, like you see everything with the Xel'Nagas. When you have both of them controlled, your opponent cannot move to your base without you noticing it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be that brutal, but not like Neoplanet. Like something in the middle. It would be perfect.
Yeah, I definitely prefer something like Aquilon Wastes over Core Hall City, where at least Aquilon Wastes, if you're not seeing something, you're kind of denying those expands. But if you're on not cross positions, but kind of next to each other on a map like Core Hall City, where the one Xel'Naga is sitting in the middle, it does nothing all game.
Well, unless you start really, really branching out, but yeah, you never know. Or you could always try and do a hidden expansion.
Sure.
But anyways, getting to some of the fan questions. Reaper, this is one about Reapers. Reapers can have a good payoff at the cost of heavy micro. Do you think newer players should use Reapers or focus on something else to build a strong foundation?
Can you repeat? I missed that question.
Reapers, basically, like they can have really nice payoff if used correctly, but it's at the cost of fairly heavy micro. Do you think newer players should focus on learning how to use Reapers correctly, or should they put their attention elsewhere to build a good foundation for playing Terran?
Well, if you're a new player, I think you should prefer macro over micro, because that's going to be more important in the long run. So well, yeah, Reaper is a unit you need to control all the time. You need to be careful with it. So I don't know, it's hard to say.
All right. That's why I asked, because it's definitely this balancing act. It's like, well, if I'm good with it, I can really get ahead, but new players probably don't have the wherewithal to be macroing back at home, building their workers, building Marines, or whatever they're teching to, and also harassing with Reapers at the same time. So, yeah,
I remember when you were learning Wings of Liberty, Garrett, and who was your coach for that, but they sat you down and they said, do not micro, A move attack everything.
Yeah. Oh, and I raffle stomped you that one game. I remember that.
Yeah, you destroyed me. Because your production was just out of this world, and even though the units were dumb as hell, there was nothing I could do to stop so many.
Right. I think at the end of that game, I had like 12 barracks just queued into your base.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh God, I had a couple coaches. I forget. I was being coached by Ramley and one of the other masters on our forums. But yeah, that's a very good point, Naama. When I was learning to play Wings of Liberty, I was spending way too much time on micro. And the second that someone sat down, I was like, I'm going to tie your hands down. You are only allowed to build production facilities and hit the A button. That's it. And my play got way better. So that's a very good point. If you're a new player, macro. Now, in Heart of we've gotten Widow Mines, but also tanks no longer need to research siege mode, so they're really attractive. For early defense, which do you prefer, tanks or Widow Mines?
Of course, it depends on the situation, but...
Well, I guess...
but yeah, I would say a tank is much more better option than Widowman, because Widowman only shoots once.
Yeah.
Like, when you get rushed, you won't get more than 2 shots of the Widowman at the most. So with tank, you're shooting at the enemy units all the time, so it's much better.
You know, there's certain matchups where that's. I mean, you said it. Obviously, it matters, but you're saying rush, so I immediately go, okay, Zerg tanks. But is there in TVZ or TVT or TVPs? Would you prefer Widow Mines?
Oh well, you have a point there. Like, if you play TVT, you get Medivac or Banshee harassed at the early game. With Widow Mine, you can almost one-shot them. So, and with the tank, you obviously cannot shoot at air units. So, it really depends on the situation and who you are against.
So yeah,
and TVP is like, if he's going for something like 4 gate and gate heavy, then obviously you need tank. But if he goes like Oracles or Mothership Core harass, then Widowman is a really good option.
Is that your favorite way to deal with Oracles right now? Because they're very popular on ladder.
Yeah, either a Viking or a Widowman. Okay. I'm not really sure if Widowman one-shots Oracles. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
I don't know offhand either. But, I don't know. You should have just had Hearthstone sitting on the sideline like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Or no, it doesn't. Some more fan questions. This one came to us from Rathwort. He said, I mostly play random, but I wish I could random Zerg Protoss. I seem to get buried every time Terran pops up because I spend way too much time with micro. Any tips to avoid early game micro focus? I guess more than we've already said. Is there, I guess to specify a little more, is there specific, like, should he try just focusing on only barrack play, like, or for random players like that?
Well, that's a hard question. I actually didn't even understand it, but I guess you shouldn't do something Terran normally wouldn't do just because you're random and you're too lazy to learn the build or something. Just do the standard Terran play or something.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a funny question. Like when reading it now, it's like any tips to avoid early game micro focus? Don't stop doing it. Just macro.
No, but it's true. I mean, I run into these guys a lot on the ladder right now. They have amazing, excellent builds, but the second that build fails, they quit. And you're like, oh, was that your only push? Was that all you ever had planned? And that was. Once that goes slightly awry for them, they're out.
Yeah, I feel the same way. If I ever off race for fun, then I know I have seen this play in a tournament game or something, this build, and when I do it, and when it fails, even the slightest, then I quit. I know I'm done. I cannot win anymore because I don't know how to adapt with the other race.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously you're going to see, Kyle, at our levels on the ladder, you're obviously going to see that a lot because that's kind of what separates the people who are very good at their race from the people who are just kind of, dicking around, for lack of a better phrase. But yeah, I mean, that's why we enjoy watching players like MC and whatnot, because it's like, oh, that build failed. Oh, shit, he has somehow amazingly transitioned out of that. I don't...
This next question is very cool for you, Naama. If people haven't decided on a race in multiplayer, what would you say to get them to play Terran?
Well, with Terran, you have the most builds and styles of play where you can abuse your opponent. You can do the funkiest builds and harasses Widow Mines everywhere, Battle Hellion drops and stuff like that. It's so cool when you kill 20 probes in 20 seconds with Hellions. So I think it's really enjoyable to play Terran.
Yeah, they're so versatile. I've always enjoyed that about the race. So that's great. We should get this would have been a fun question for everyone. All right, sell your race like you're on commission or something like that. Would have been a fun question. Ghost Cattle asks, wanted to know Well, first off, this is the guy who asked if you're into Flash, which obviously we know that. But any build specifically of Flashes that you're trying to teach yourself at the moment?
Well, actually, I haven't watched his games that closely that I would know a build of his. I've just like watched him at the corner of my eye and stuff like that. So I don't really know any Flash builds yet. But I definitely feel like I should watch his play.
Yeah,
Closer.
again, that his MLG run was really good. I mean, so was Life's, considering how all the other Zerg did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure that he has like amazing builds because he's the best SC1 player. So he will have like the greatest builds in StarCraft 2.
Yeah. Do you have a poster of him in your room? Be
No.
honest, Naama.
But I wish I had.
Okay. All right. Justin from Australia asked, in TVT, how do you defend against Reaper harass when you're on 2 base? And how do you keep macro going while dealing with the Reapers? Thank you.
Well, in a part of the swarm, the Reapers, they are faster, but they deal less damage. So I think it's so much easier to defend against them in this game. It's just like I leave some units at the cliffs in my base. Like when I'm at 2 base, I don't really have a problem against Reapers. It's like the first few minutes when they are out, then I might have a problem if I somehow miss them. But just leave some units idling at the cliffs. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if you can catch them as they're starting to jump up, they're
Yeah,
not
that's
even
the
gonna...
ideal situation. Yeah.
Oh, but when you have that expand and they do get in there, it's just a nightmare because they go to your main, go to your natural, go to your main, all the while healing and keeping away from you.
Well, that's when knowing how to kind of properly divide up your army is good.
Yeah.
So you can
And then you can try to surround them with your workers. If they pass by your mineral line, then you try to surround them if you can.
Yeah, so your Marines or whatever can catch up and finish them off. Then he wrote in and asked, what is your favorite all-in for the 3 different matchups?
Okay.
Oh, and then he also said, who doesn't love Naama all-ins? That was his words.
Well, TVP, well, 1-1-1. It's my favorite of all time. But now, actually, it's not that good as it was in Wings of Liberty, because the Mothership Core has the cannon ability. You know, you can make a cannon out of Nexus. So it's
photon
and it has a really
overcharge.
long range. So it's really hard for a 1-1-1 style to win. Actually, I was playing against Harstem one day, and he had actually 3 base, and I was playing 1 base. But then I lost, even though he was 3 base at 6-minute mark or something, because he made the cannon at the natural. Then I just lost.
Oh, that's rough.
So you need to be careful against that.
Gotcha. Is there a different all-in that you're leaning towards now against Protoss?
Well, not really. I haven't figured it out yet, but I think there will be something as good. No.
Gotcha. You don't need to give away your secrets either. You're like, well, I'm going to a tournament tomorrow, so if I could not say this on air, I'd really appreciate it.
That's right.
There you go.
Against Zerg, probably 2 racks, all in, kill the hatchery, make some bunkers.
Yeah, that seems very effective. I mean, the fact that it has seemed to cross over from Wings of Liberty without any real hiccups is, I think, a testament to that, to the versatility of that all-in.
And I think it's even better now, because the Zergs somehow, I feel like they're not scouting as well as in Wings of Liberty. Because in Wings of Liberty, you always had the drone scout for 2 racks, and now they're like more careless about it. So it seems to work better sometimes.
I blame it on the mentality of people like Kyle who are like, my mutas regenerate? I don't need to scout anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
I just need 6 queens to hide in my base. Get a whole bunch of mutas. No, I'm too distracted by swarm hosts. I'm getting all my gas and hoping I can do a swarm host Nidus worm infester thing.
You're so theatrical with your play, Kyle. Is this a good strategy? No. Does it look cool? Yes, I'm doing it.
Is it a bunch of dumb roaches trying to muscle their way up a ramp? Then I don't want it.
Vinny also, or sorry. So we did. Okay, what about TVT? Is there an all-in you prefer for that?
Well, actually, I almost never all in TVT, so I don't really have a favorite. Because I feel like all in TVT doesn't really work.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of rough. They're king of turtling, so
yeah.
I mean,
how can you all in against tank line or something like that? Doesn't really work.
Yeah, especially in HotS now where you don't even need to research that siege mode.
Yeah,
and it's a fool's errand, as we would call it. Vinny also asks, what about just general advice on laddering? He said, Naama, when you ladder, what do you think? Do you decide on a build and then practice that? Do you play a variety of styles? How should a player go from being a competent Masters player to a Goso GM like Naama? Can you pass any insight on about your time in Korea and any skills you can apply from that to your own gameplay and training? That is a loaded question, Vinny.
Yeah.
I guess we'll take it one at a time. Laddering. How do you approach ladder?
Well, sometimes I just go play ladder. I don't think much. I don't think what I'm doing. So it's more like to pass the time with, like, maybe I would do some funky styles that I never tried before. But it's either that or then I go platter. I feel like I want to train this build. I want to train this build against these races. And I'm gonna do it the next 10 games, stuff like that. So it's really, it's not the same every time I play ladder. Depends.
All right. Now, any advice though for him? You say, if I'm Masters and I want to break in the GM, is there a specific difference between the two? You think it's something like, well, this is the difference. Like if you fix this, it'll probably put you on the same playing level as a GM player.
Well, do not try to reinvent the wheel. Like, if you have two options, either learn by yourself or to watch replays and pro player streams, you should really watch others play. Like, just try to copy the pro players, their builds, and how they react to every situations. Like, for example, you can watch Stefano play at one speed in the replay. Then you just watch everything he does so closely. So after some time, you start to think like him, like the same way. So that's what you need to do.
Cool. That's what I hear from a lot of people when I'm talking to my friends who are way better than me at the game. They're like, yeah, I just spend so much time analyzing my own games and watching pros. So, well, that's cool. What about your time in Korea? Vinny was asking about. Was there any stuff that was kind of eye opening for you that you learned while you were there?
Not really, actually. Like there wasn't like one thing that was eye opening about the gameplay or something like that. Well, only thing I learned there is like. How much you need to work to really be good. Like you need to practice all the time and really put effort to the play. Because they do it all the time. Like every time they wake up, they go to the computer and start playing. When it's 2 a.m., they are still playing. Then they go to sleep and start it all over again.
And dream about playing.
And they dream about playing, yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing build orders in their sleep.
Actually, StarCraft 2 nightmares are really common for me.
Oh, really?
It sucks so much. It's like I'm playing a game that is like 6-minute mark. Then I get mutas in my main. Then I'm like, what the fuck? I have 2 Marines. How can I defend this? Then I'm like, oh.
That's funny. So it's like the rules of the game are broken.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, what's a StarCraft? Are you talking in-game or out like you're at a tournament and you forgot your pants? Like,
not like that.
Okay, all right, that's pretty funny. That's really funny. Kyle,
and then they turned into Guardians, and it just got awful.
Guardians. I was so stoked playing through the campaign, Kyle, when you saw the Guardians on the Xeris missions.
Oh yeah, no,
I was like, oh man, you finally get to see one that doesn't look completely butt ugly. They're still kind of a bad creature design, though.
Oh no, they're ugly. They're
giant
ugly.
crabs.
I really enjoyed the kind of joke that these are the unevolved forms of Zerg. I also enjoyed in the first couple levels all the poor, tortured lurkers in the science facilities.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Down in the pits, getting poked like they're building cars.
Are you a fan of the campaign, Naama?
Actually, I didn't even play it. A single game
A single
of the
game?
campaign. Not yet.
Okay, all right. No,
When I have some time, I will try it out.
It's very common with games that are so focused on multiplayer. I mean, I know,
Yeah.
like when I was in college, like it's like, oh, new Call of Duty's out. You played the campaign? No, man, multiplayer. So.
Yeah, who would play the campaign of Call of Duty? It's a waste of time.
I will make the argument that the original Modern Warfare is one of the coolest shooter campaigns.
You mean like the first Modern Warfare?
Yeah, Call of Duty 4 it would be.
Where you get
Yeah,
nuked.
yeah. I think so too. Like it's the best Call of Duty ever.
Yeah, hands. I mean, that's the one where
Even the multiplayer there is so much better. It doesn't have like all the cool new stuff. Like you have 10 perks for every weapon, stuff like that. It's so stupid.
It was very It was the game that really set the course for all the other Call of Duty games. I mean, it was that was a game changer, man. That was a oh god. Every now and then I still dust that off, throw it in my Xbox. I'm like, I'm gonna play. And there's like 3 people online playing it. It's just
I played it like last week, and I was really good at it.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a fun game. Anyway, so we're pretty much at the end of the show here. We told you we wouldn't keep you longer than an hour.
Well, I got to squeeze in one question here before we start closing out. Is there in Heart of the Swarm now? Is there ever a time for battle cruisers?
Actually, I didn't do them a single time yet in Heart of the Swarm, but I will definitely try to fit them in builds. But to be honest, I haven't played like super late game situations yet, so I don't know if they're useful or not. But the new Raven definitely it helps a lot in late game as well. So maybe you don't really need battle cruisers, but I will definitely try to use them. But I don't know how they're like right now.
Did you get a chance to play? This is almost 2 years ago now. The build that they had at BlizzCon, where the battlecruiser had the boost ability.
No.
Oh, I was kind of sad to see that didn't make it.
I wish I could.
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually. I wish that had made it to the live game. But yeah,
I'd almost prefer medevac thrusters on a battle cruiser these days.
Because you don't see VCs as much.
Yeah.
It's like when you have 6 battle cruisers, you use the thrusters, you go to opponent's main, you killed his main with the cannon, Yamato cannon, then you get out. And you cannot do anything about it because they're so fast.
That would be... God, that's a nightmare. That's what Zergs have nightmares about. Just like at the 5-minute mark, a battlecruiser rushes into my base, blows up my main, and then gets out.
Go, Queen, go!
That's exactly what that is. That is a StarCraft nightmare. Anyways, Naama, before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to promote? Where can people see you play in the near future?
Well, I don't really have any LAN tournaments coming, but I'm streaming like quite a lot right now. Of course, I will play at online tournaments like weekly cups. Well, yeah.
What's your Twitch address?
Well, Twitch TV / Fnatic.Naama.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
So make sure you go check that out, guys. You want to see some good Terran play. Also, just check out what is it? Just Fnatic.com is the team's site.
Yeah, Fnatic.com.
Okay, yeah, that's the site for the team. So go support Naama, go support Fnatic, and Naama, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show. Fnatic has been so great with our show. Like we had Hearthstone on once, and then Elroy has been helping us out. You guys are just so great to talk to, and you're always anytime we have any of you guys on the show, you're great. So thanks
community
again for coming
focused. It's a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So, Very cool. Go check that out. As always, you can check out more about our show over at amove.tv or at thestarcast.com. That's the place to go for our forums, our archives, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. We're live every Thursday night. Okay, the last 2 episodes have been pre-recorded. I keep catching myself on this, but it's because we want to get these awesome European players for you guys, and there's quite the time difference. So they don't want to be up at 3 in the morning. And if they do, they're playing games. So there. So anyways, we will be live next week with LZ Gamer because he's from the States, so we can talk to him at normal hours. Anyway, usually live 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thehandsomenerd, and you can catch all our VODs on youtube.com/StarCastShow. Email us, guys. Next week is Zerg Week. If you have any Zerg questions, email them to starcastshow@gmail.com. And, of course, follow us on Twitter. You can follow the show at The StarCast. You can follow me at Garrett Art. Follow Kyle at Kyle Fergusson. You can follow our guest today at Fnatic.Naama. Get on there.
No, wrong.
What?
Wrong.
Wrong?
You said Hearthstone, boy.
Hearthstone. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I'm on autopilot from last week. I'm so bad.
Copy-paste there.
Fnatic.Naama. Yeah, that's a
There you
copy-paste failure.
Good job there.
I was on a roll, too. Anyways, check out our new show, Campaign Roundtable. Kyle, myself, and our new host, Mike, friend of mine, we are discussing the story of video games, and for the next few weeks we'll be covering the campaign of Heart of the Swarm. So go check that out. It's available on iTunes or at amove.tv/campaign roundtable. Thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Noobing, for all they do for the show, and you can go to nomoonart.com for all the stream graphics that I do and that you see here on the show. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we followed the fad that's driving you mad for 1 week. This past week, Brock got a little sick, so sorry to say that is delayed. But definitely check out Wizard of Oz Week. That was a blast. Watch the old Wizard of Oz film for that. He checked out the new one. Just a real fun show.
Gotcha. I do not care for the original Wizard of Oz anymore. Loved it as a kid. Not a fan now.
I don't get it, but hey, we had fun.
Yeah. And, of course, check out our sponsors, DoghouseSystems.com, TweakedAudio.com, and SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Our code is StarCast. You get to double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, 30% off and free shipping off your entire order of earbuds from TweakedAudio.com. And follow SC2Quotes at SC2Quotes on Twitter, and check out their store and website at SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. And we thank them for their support. Naama, one more time, thank you, sir. Round of applause. And we hope to talk to you again in the future.
Yeah, thank you as well.
Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next week with the Zerg Noobisode with our pro player, LZ Gamer. See you then.